everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to give you 7 reasons why teenagers want and need to be alone. I'm Rita and today it's all about you. Teenagers that are choosing to be alone, they are not necessarily showing us that something is wrong. Actually, being alone and some solitude for teenagers are very important and is a part of the process. So it's even healthy for teenagers to be sometimes alone and being with themselves and with their thoughts. Teenagers had spent all of their times doing what the parents or adults want during childhood, and now they really want to be independent. They need to doing and spending the time that they have according their needs. So that's why they are spending so much time in their room, and that's why they really want to be alone for a while. During this time alone, they can think about themselves, they can think about their life, their goals, they can do things by themselves, they can read, play games, talk with friends, do homework and organize their own daily life. All of this solitude is really important, not just for the teenager independence, but the teenager confidence. Being alone, they really learn to deal with their own thoughts and with their own self. They develop the abstract thinking, analyze the different situations, and they understand the difference between the public life and the private life. And all of this is necessary to increase self-conscious and self-awareness. All of these efforts to learn about thinking, about reflection, and about analyzing situations and eventually experiences give to the teenager the chance to have discover or to have being more able to have an identity that it's what they are trying to discover in themselves. And this identity, it can change, or it usually changes during lifetime, but it's here the first process and the first time that a teenager feels as a person and as an individual. Being alone, they can explore different parts of life, like what they want to do with an eventual future and in a career, what they want to build for them as their future and their goals. They discover their own personality, they discover the sexual drive. And studies show us that teenagers that by choice want to be alone, they really developed in a much more function individual than others that are constantly in the social media, that are constantly with different groups of friends or families or people in general, and they are much more developing the other sense, like responsibility, like honesty, like the sense of empathy with themselves and with others. Being alone, a teenager can go through complex feelings. And this exercise helps a teenager to stabilize mood swings, for instance. And most of the teenagers really need this time, because after this time alone they feel a little bit less unhappy, lonely, or even depressed. after the pause, or after a pause where a teenager can be alone for a while, even the relationship with others usually are getting better. And I mean the relationship with the family, that sometimes it's a little bit more turbulent, and this time alone really affects the teenager in a good way and help him analyze the situations and be a little bit more relaxed. Teens with introvert personalities, they tend to be needed much more time alone, and particularly after school or after a social encounter with their friends or eventually their family. They usually feel really tired and drained after all these encounters, and they really need to just be alone, have a time for themselves and relax, and do the things that they usually do when they are alone, and try to relax. Being alone, teens tend to be much more focused and much more aware of the things that they really need to do. They concentrate much better because they don't have any other kind of distractions. So all the work that they have to do for school, all the study that they have to do, it's better to do alone, because it's the time that they can concentrate much better, and the attention span is much longer. Because they are having much more time to reflect over situations, and because they are having much more opportunities to think about certain experiences, they tend to be a little bit more aware of their own social life. They tend to be a little bit more critical about their social environment, and choose better their own social circle. And this gives them a positive enforcement and more responsibility, as well as a maturity that usually other kids or other teenagers that don't have this choice of being alone, or they don't even want to be alone for a while, can show us and can have it. Another positive thing about a teenager want to or need sometimes to have moments by themselves is that they don't crave or even depend on others' company. They learn to be their own company, and they learn to feel okay with it and to feel happy with it. They learn to be much more empathic, not just with themselves but with others, as well as much more peaceful, calm and safety. The most part of this solitude is that is a choice, it's not mandatory. So it's important for parents to understand that this is something that a teenager want and need, and it's not has to be or should not be a punishment for something that the teenager did that was wrong. Another thing that it's important is that the family is available all the time for the teenager needs. So even the teenager needs to be alone for a while, they will always need the support of the family. They need the family to have a structure and to feel, to make them feel happy and to make them feel comfortable in their own family situation. When a parent imposes solitude as a punishment to a teenager, it can really give him a social anxiety and destroy totally the stability of his mental health. Parents have to stop worry and stop to force their teenagers to be more social. Understand that teenagers need to be alone, need their privacy, and need their solitude for their healthy physical, mental, emotional development. And that's all for today, guys. I hope you like it. I hope you subscribe to the channel. I hope you leave the thumbs up. share with a friend, and I'll see you next time for another video. Bye!